Thibaut Meurisse, Master Your Emotions. A practical guide to overcome negativity and better manage your feelings. In many ways, the quality of your life depends on your emotions. Your emotions can create a state of ecstasy or peace. On the other hand, if you fail to control negative feelings like shame and fear, they can completely ruin your day. That doesn't mean you should try to do away with all the negative thoughts and feelings, though. Quite the opposite. They're hardwired into us for a reason. Because of the difficult and dangerous world we evolved in, our brains are programmed to feel fear and anxiety to ensure our survival. They were literally a matter of life or death. Take the fear of rejection, for example. It can cripple you, leading you to obsess over how you appear to others or push you to go along with unhealthy trends just because everyone else is. But in the distant past, being alienated from a community could have spelled doom, cutting the pariah off from help with gathering food and fending off predators. The world is much safer now, but the fear of rejection isn't going anywhere. So instead, you need to learn to live alongside it. In this blink, we'll take a quick look at how to understand emotions, where they come from, and how you can begin to manage them and even master them to avoid destructive patterns. Meet your ego, then break free of it. If you accidentally cut yourself while chopping vegetables, your finger sends an instant panicky message to your brain. Stop that. This lets you use sharp tools while also hanging on to all your digits. Negative emotions work in a similar fashion. Like physical pain, they serve a purpose to tell us something is wrong, but they can also keep a powerful hold on us. That grip is especially strong if your feelings reinforce your identity, the story you tell about yourself. To understand what is meant by this, meet your ego. Ego is often used as shorthand for pride, like saying a star athlete has a huge ego, but can also refer to how we see ourselves. You see, your identity isn't a real thing, but something you've constructed. Everyone finds their identity in the things they own, their relationships, their gender, and their religious beliefs, and tell a story about who they are and why they matter. That creation is their ego. Unfortunately for us, and those around us, our egos are built by a self-centered narrative, and consequently, our egos are never satisfied. They push us to bolster our own self-worth by feeling superior to others. For example, I'm important because I make $150,000 a year. Then when someone threatens our self-image with insults or cuts us off in traffic as if we're some kind of nobody, we can't handle it. Breaking free from your servitude to that self-narrative can make you happier and help avoid stewing with resentment. The first and most powerful step is simply to realize what your ego is up to, and that it's just a story you're creating in your head. The more you wise up to its tricks, the less power it holds over you. Step back from your emotions. They aren't the essence of you. I'm so angry right now. You've probably said many versions of that phrase, depending on your mood. The language is telling. We all think of our emotions as part of our core being. We're angry or happy or sad. But your feelings are temporary. It's not a permanent feature of your inner being. You can't be happy or sad all the time. This is both bad and good news, as your happiness will fade and your sadness will too. It also means negative emotions don't make you a bad person. Quite the contrary, negative emotions can be helpful because they offer hints of what's going on inside. a chance for self-reflection. Perhaps your anger is triggered by unresolved trauma or a pileup of emotions like resentment over a past wrong. Whatever the case, it's a red flag for an issue you need to address. Fear may be an indicator that you're no longer in your comfort zone, but that zone is a place of stagnancy where you don't try any new things or take risks. That's a sign that you should challenge yourself, whether that's opening the restaurant you've always dreamed of or something more simple like applying for a new job or learning a new skill. Procrastination can also stem from fear. People shrink from tackling a task because they think it's too hard and they're worried about failure. There are real-world consequences to not dealing with the issues your emotions raise. For example, procrastination can keep you from achieving many valuable goals that are well within your grasp. But that simply shows the usefulness of emotions. Don't obsess over them or feel guilty for having them. Just as we noted, you're not angry or disappointed. You're just feeling that way, and those feelings are fleeting. Recognizing that lets you step back from your emotions and evaluate them critically from the outside. Where are they coming from and why? If you don't focus on your emotions or embrace them as a core part of who you are, they lose some of their power. Think of them like clothes. You wear them, but they aren't you. You're going to change them later. Your problems aren't real. Odds are you could sit down right now and write out a fairly long list of your problems, some more painful than others. You're out of coffee. Your boss is a jerk. Your teenager is engaging in destructive behavior. You're about to lose your home. You have a severe illness. The list goes on and on. It's important to realize, though, that none of these circumstances are painful in and of themselves. They simply exist, neutral facts about the world. The problem is your assumption about how things should be, which can cause real pain. These are your beliefs about what you need to be happy. The upside is that while you can't change a great many things, you can change your expectations and beliefs about how the world needs to be. If you don't expect always to have coffee when you want it, or that other people will always treat you well, or that you'll always be healthy and live a long life, you'll save yourself a lot of pain. Certainly, it's great if you live a long life, but not everyone does. Put another way, events in your life have no meaning at all until you interpret them. You decide that they're good or bad based on your beliefs, and then you feel emotions based on that interpretation. Consider this example about the weather. A farmer's crops are drying out. When they look out of the window and see that it's raining, they're overjoyed. At the same time, a family not far away is looking out the windows in dismay. They've been planning a picnic for weeks, and now those plans are ruined. Same rain, two very different interpretations, and two very different sets of emotions. That doesn't mean you shouldn't feel sad or happy, but you can step back from those feelings and realize that they're a product of your beliefs and expectations. When you worry about pain and negative emotions, you simply make them worse. This doesn't help and only adds to your suffering. Complaining won't change anything. Instead, try adjusting your expectations. Write it out. A sheet of blank paper and a pen may be the secret tool you've been looking for to deal with your emotions. We've already talked about stepping back from your feelings so you can think about them more clearly and ease their intensity. Sounds great, but how can you do that? One simple way is by writing them down. why not try this exercise? Write down your emotions every day for a week. Afterward, take some time to reflect on what you've written. Start by analyzing why you're feeling that way. If you had a different outlook, if you changed your beliefs, would that make a difference? Perhaps there's something you could change as well, like spending less time watching news about depressing events. Also, consider how each of your emotions ended up going away. What helped you feel better? Perhaps it was focusing on something else or spending time helping another person. Once you figure out what's causing each of your emotions, another round of writing may be in order. For example, spend some time writing down what you do right and your accomplishments. Come up with 50, even if they're just small ones like doing the dishes or getting out of bed on time. We're often too hard on ourselves and won't acknowledge what we're doing right, so it's important to put it down on paper. You could also try collecting your achievements over time in a self-esteem jar. Write each achievement on a strip of colorful paper and put them all in a clear jar. Keep that jar somewhere you can see it. Over time, your jar will fill with color, a concrete reminder that every day is filled with small triumphs. Just doing the exercise won't make your problems disappear, but seeing them there on paper can actually help you get the worry out of your system. After that, change what you can and accept what you can't. Condition your mind. If you look up and you see a truck barreling at you, you'll get a jolt of fear. You can't help that. It's triggered by your need to survive, but you can shape other emotions with your own beliefs and thoughts. The way you think is powerful in creating emotions that build on each other, positive or negative. So changing the way you think about the world can make a big difference in how you feel in your day-to-day life. Visualization is one helpful tool for this. If you picture scenarios vividly, it can trick your subconscious mind, helping lead to a change in emotions. You might think of a peaceful scene or imagine yourself confidently succeeding at a task. Another way to engage the subconscious is with words. What you say and your emotions are interconnected, so stop using doubting, unconfident words and replace them with assertions. Don't say, maybe, but I will. Confront your excuses and tell yourself the truth. Come up with positive statements about what you can and will do. When you repeat positive statements to yourself over and over, your subconscious begins to adopt that belief as well. Do this 5 minutes a day for a month or longer, combined with visualization, and watch the difference it makes. Of course, you can't just think your pain away, especially if you have a severe mental health issue, in which case, consider seeing a specialist. But these tools can, at least, help. Identify a positive feeling you want more of, then use these tools to get your brain used to experiencing that emotion. Use positive affirmation and visualization to repeat the emotion and make it stronger. And don't put too much pressure on yourself. Take baby steps. You're not going to reach all your emotional goals overnight. Mind your body. Feelings aren't just connected to words. Taking care of your emotions means taking care of your body too. One survey found that most people who reported anxiety and depression were also not getting enough sleep. Another study found that people who didn't get enough sleep had a higher mortality risk. You've almost certainly noticed that you feel better when you get enough sleep and your emotions follow suit. Take sleep seriously. In addition to going to bed on a regular schedule, you may want to try blackout curtains to create a better sleeping environment. Also, be wary of too much reading on electronic devices before bed, as it can disrupt the quality of your sleep too. Staying active is also key. Research shows that regular exercise improves your mood and can even have a similar effect to antidepressant medications. It can also help depression from coming back. You won't be surprised to learn that people who exercise tend to be healthier and live longer, sometimes dramatically so. What may surprise you is that it doesn't take a grueling routine to make a significant difference. A small amount of regular daily exercise can be a big help, like taking a walk. Even the way you breathe can have an impact. Deep breathing or slow breathing exercises can ease stress and have a calming effect. Your emotions are in tune with your body, so keep your body in key too. The key message here is that there is no magic pill to make all your emotions positive. And as we just discussed, that wouldn't even be a good thing since you need negative emotions to warn you when there's a problem. Still, you don't have to live at the mercy of your emotions, and there are concrete steps to avoid wallowing in negativity. Remember, your emotions are not you. Unhealthy expectations can create unnecessary negative emotions, and mentally stepping outside your emotions and analyzing them can give valuable perspective. If you set your thoughts on a healthy track and keep your body in key too, your emotions can become useful tools once again.